Highguard, the mysterious competitive shooter whose underwhelming announcement closed out the Game Awards, launched yesterday to healthy Steam numbers, but loads of negative user reviews. Welcome to Inside Games Daily, the only gaming news show brave enough to say this game isn't the pile of trash that lots of people seem to want it to be.
Yeah, I get the impression that people had such a good time slapping their bellies and laughing at Concord that they were hoping for a sequel. I don't know, we both have about 10 hours each, maybe even a little more in the game at this point, and it is a legitimate game that's trying to do something different. But that doesn't mean it's for you, and that doesn't mean that in the time you spend with it that you'll necessarily see those angles of the game. But we'll get into our thoughts later on. Let's cover the launch news.
Yeah, first up, Highguard almost broke 100,000 concurrent players on Steam alone around an hour from its launch.
Yeah, the game is freely available on Xbox and PlayStation consoles as well, though we don't have player data from those platforms.
Yeah, that's a radical difference from 2024's Concord, which didn't surpass 1,000 concurrent players on its launch day. Didn't even break 700 to be exact.
Yeah, that was another level of failure entirely. And this game is already, no matter what you want to think about it, it's not the next Concord. Then again, it is free to play. Maybe if it cost $40, it wouldn't have gotten up there, but it's doing okay for now, as far as that goes.
Highguard's closest comparison, Apex Legends, launched on Steam in November of 2024 to 117,000 concurrent players, but Apex had been out for a very long time at that point. And it managed to grow steadily in the following months after its launch. So there's lots of different things that it's an apples to oranges comparison. But that's the only thing we got, really.
Yeah, we have to stick with Steam because Steam is the only platform that puts its player numbers out there, freely scrapable via the API. Thank you very much, Gabe Newell. But that's kind of the question, right? It may have launched well, but is it keeping those players, and is there any hope that those player numbers may actually go up? If the last 24 hours are anything to go by, the answer is no.
Yeah, it's about 24 hours from the launch of the game. And the game is currently around 18,000 concurrent players.
Yeah, it hit its low point overnight at around 11,000. And it's kind of going back up as a new day dawns. Sun's coming up. The gamers are waking up to the rooster crowing, and some of them are choosing to log on to Highguard again. So we'll see over the course of this day how many players are playing after 24 hours.
The drop-off for Highguard and Steam players after its launch, about 4 hours after its launch, pretty drastic as it dropped down to about 50,000 players, lost about half of its concurrence at its peak.
Yeah, which implies a bunch of people were curious about it, tried it out briefly, and then stopped. The Steam reviews might explain some of that behavior.
Maybe. Highguard's reviews are classified as mostly negative by Steam, with only 34% of the 16,000 reviews rating the game positively.
Yes, the negative reviews have a growing consensus that 3v3 is just not the right format for this game. Mostly concurring that bigger team sizes would help the experience, or basically just mean that there's rolling team fights all the time. I'm not sure about that, but we'll get there.
Others complain about a variety of factors like the generic nature of the game's visuals, performance issues, repeated player disconnects. Now, naturally, not all the negative reviews are quite so eloquent. I will say, Lawrence, I saw thousands of reviews that had 0.5 hours played. They played 30 minutes of this, immediately went to Steam to get their likes and their little hundreds and their emotes on the 30-minute review, which is bullshit. But there were some funny ones. We had a recipe for M&M cookies. And then, of course, the humble ASCII art copy pasta.
Always love seeing that as I'm scrolling through the grid of people posting in all caps about how this game is, I don't know, AI slop dog shit that's going to destroy all video games. One thing that I found interesting, even the game's positive reviews, the most like even-handed ones, even they tend to acknowledge that this game takes some adjustment and that it's a bit weird. And it is a bit weird, and it does take some adjustment.
It really does. The game's rating is slightly higher over in the PlayStation Store, averaging 3.07 stars out of 5, which doesn't sound very good.
Oh, you'd probably want more than that. There are similar concerns in those reviews, though, that 3v3 feels too slow and empty, and that the game's aesthetic is uninspired.
A similar story on the Xbox Store, where the game sits at a 2.9 out of 5 as well.
Yeah, so what's the deal with Highguard? Why is everybody buzzing about it? Why is everybody excited to shit on it? Well, the game's notoriety stems from its placement at the end of the Game Awards 2025.
Yeah, this was the real major misstep, I think. This did not help Highguard, and I want to say it's maybe the beginning of the end for them. Hopefully they can keep the game going, but we'll see. Audiences assume that the game that closes the Game Awards out would be a showstopper, right? We were all expecting Half-Life 3 at the end of the Game Awards, and instead, we got just another hero shooter.
Yeah, Welch admits, though, that the trailer the studio put together for that purpose didn't really represent the game that well. Highguard game director Dusty Welch confirmed to GameSpot that the game intended to do a radio silence shadow drop just like Apex Legends. Here's a quote. "We just kept quiet because we knew the next thing we did should be the game itself. Hands on sticks, and you decide for yourself." But instead, the Game Awards creator Jeff Keighley freely offered the promotional spot to close out the show. And gosh, who wouldn't say yes to that? Even if it didn't go so well, at least you got in front of a whole bunch of people you probably wouldn't have otherwise.
Absolutely. I would have said yes 100% if my friend Jeff reached out and was like, make a trailer for my brand... No, seriously. Make a trailer for the brand new game. I'll show it for free at the end of the Game Awards. I'm like, absolutely, let's do it. That sounds awesome. And honestly, Jeff Keighley was over on social media poking the bear. He really was.
It's fun. He's being a little cheeky. I like it.
I did too. Posting a gif of Dr. Hammond from Jurassic Park saying, quote, "In 48 hours, I'll be accepting your apologies."
Did he just stop watching the movie when Dr. Hammond said that? Because it didn't really go that well. Oh, or I don't know. Maybe he has seen the whole film and he's being even a little more self-aware and jokey than we think. But
no.
Yeah, I don't think Dr. Hammond was really vindicated in that film. Maybe that's just me.
I mean, I will say the dinosaurs were amazing.
Yeah, until they started eating people. Actually, no, even that was cool. You're right, yeah.
That was cool, yeah. And then Jeff Keighley's infatuation with the game continues to confuse. Though, when asked if he had any financial ties to the game, he replied, "Lol, absolutely not." And by the way, I believe him.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff is generally very, very, very truthful. He for sure would have said, "Oh, yeah." But I'm positive Jeff Keighley played this game, loved it, and was like, "Yo, give me a trailer. I'll show it in the Game Awards. You really have a hit on your hands." And they were like, "Sure." I am positive that's the way this played out. Jeff really is an honest guy, and I genuinely like him.
Yeah, and I've heard from multiple other people from multiple other companies that if Jeff tries a game and genuinely likes it, he will offer a discount or a free spot at the show, and that's pretty important to elevate indies, and especially, you may not agree that this game deserved that clout, but it's a new studio, small studio trying to get a game off the ground. They're seemingly trying to do everything right so far. Even if the game is not for you, at least the format that they're doing it is pretty honest. So I can see why he would get pretty enthused about this.
Also, user reviews made it clear that Highguard is also not for everyone. That may just be fine with the game's developers, Wildlight Entertainment.
Speaking to PC Gamer, Highguard lead designer Mohammed Alavi said, quote, "Honestly, we don't need player counts to be super huge in order to be successful. We're a small team. A 6-player match is not hard to find. What we're really hoping for is a core group of fans that love us. That will allow us to grow."
Okay. Also, disclosure, we were sponsored to go to a Highguard event and make a video for our other YouTube channel, Brought You This Thing. We were not sponsored to make this video or stream or do anything else like that. It's very, very important. People think that if you are sponsored to do one thing, you're sponsored to do it all, and that's not true. In this case, we were sponsored to make one video on Brought You This Thing, and we did. And it's there if you'd like to watch us play the game and get frustrated.
Yeah, it's because it can be frustrating, and maybe it's time to get into that. Yeah, there's a lot of validity to, well, if you got paid to promote the game here, then you're less likely to be negative on it over there. And sure, if somebody's buttering your bread, you're not going to want to bite them on the hand immediately. But hopefully our even approach is obvious on that note. Maybe it's time to get into our takes on the game. I don't know, Bruce, you got a lot to say, and you've played way more of these kinds of games than I have, really. So I think your take is going to be a lot more informed, and maybe what people are. You can speak to the people more than I can.
This is maybe one of the most frustrating games I've ever played. So I loved Apex Legends and played a bunch of it, and knew I wasn't good at it, but I still played it. And I played a ton of Battlefield, and I played it. I just love shooters in general. I've been doing them a very, very long time, and Apex Legends is the closest game that you're going to get to Highguard. So if you're good at Apex Legends, you're going to be good at Highguard almost right away. There are a few gameplay mechanics that I cannot explain why they are so frustrating, and usually it's because you lose a 1v1 fight and you don't know why. Like I haven't been able to figure out if it's because I don't have enough armor, or it's because they have the better gun, or if their aim is better, or if they're playing on a console and there's aim assist. Like, I have no idea. There's so many different things that I would never be able to explain why I lost a gunfight again. And the interesting thing about this game is that it's objective based, but there are also gunfights, and the objectives basically don't matter if you can win every gunfight. And I hate that. I can't stand that, because as you know, if you watch the show, I love Battlefield. And Battlefield is exactly the opposite. I could lose 1,000 gunfights and still be helping my team by taking objectives. You'd think that Highguard, since it's objective-based, would give you points for those objectives in addition to the gunfights that you win or lose. That is not the case. If you're good at Apex Legends, you're good at Highguard, it won't matter if you get the shield breaker. It won't matter if you can raid the base and break some walls and it doesn't matter any of that shit. Just get kills. And I don't like that. Now, other people may like that. Lawrence, did you like that?
Well, I'm not good at shooting, so it made it a challenge. Yeah, I agree completely. My confusion is that there's so much effort and I think very intelligent design in Highguard. I think the flow of a match, the way the point system works, the phases that a match rolls through, they're all very smart. I think they all kind of distill those elements from other games, the looting elements, the team fight elements, the base raiding elements, the bomb planting elements. All those things have been, I think, very intelligently put into this game that can flow back and forth. I also really like that each of the game's phases has a very strict time limit on it. It's always pushing towards this funnel, and at the end of that funnel is a team fight. And those team fights are fun, and they're consequential. But yes, that ends up being, it feels like that's what all that matters at the end. Is that there's the looting phase where people complain that the map is too big, but that's kind of the point of the phase, is that you're not really running into other teams unless you're really trying to find them. So you have this 2 minutes of downtime at the beginning of every match where you're running around getting armor and guns and stuff. But then, yeah, like you said, Bruce, you just get zapped because the TTK is so low, and it makes you wonder, did any of that stuff matter? Why did I waste all that time playing the rest of this BS game when just getting shot to death is all that ended up mattering? I could have just done that right from the start and not spent all this other time. So I don't know. I really appreciate that there's all these moments of momentum shift that are baked into the rule set. But the momentum can never shift if your team loses every team fight. And it's super easy to lose team fights because the TTK is crazy low, or at least it feels really low to me. So pretty early on, you'll know if your team or even you have a chance. The saving grace of Highguard is that if the other team knows that they're better, they can end the match very quickly. So I appreciate that. That's kind of what it gets down to, I think, is that you have to hit a kind of minimum standard of target acquisition and putting bullets into the enemy. And if you don't hit those, you won't really be playing the rest of the game. All the headspace of the gear and the abilities and all that stuff doesn't matter if you just get aced every time an enemy sees you. And I want to say 80% of the matches were like that for me. I could tell right away that there was a player or maybe multiple players on the enemy team that just rinsed me every time. And if I ran into them, I would die. And then, yeah, I have no use apart from that. I can't defend any objective. I can't do anything because that guy's going to be there because the game does such a good job of funneling players into the team fights that matter. And that's also why I think increasing the team sizes would be even worse. Gosh, if you're a great player, you can clutch a 1v3, but with a TTK like it is, zero chance 1v5 or 1v6 or something like that. Steamrolls would get even steamrollier, and this is already a pretty steamrolly game. So I think it's where it needs to be. I think it's a smartly designed game, but it seems like it's intentionally designed for people that are already really good at Apex, and that seems like a very small group of people. It's not what you'd expect from a free-to-play game, which makes some of the comments from the lead designer resonate a little bit. And I kind of respect the gumption here of making a free-to-play game for people that are kind of on the top end of the skill curve, just when it comes to online shooters. I thought I was okay. This game has humbled me quite a bit, though.
This feels very much like the finals. So when the finals released, the finals, you could get out there and you could go and get the box and then blow up some walls, and it didn't matter. You just had to win the gunfights. That was it. That was all. And the finals has, by the way, come back up. So if Highguard is able to survive a couple of years, I really do think Highguard will actually gain back an audience. They need to do some serious balancing if they want to bring in casual players. That's all. If they don't want casual players, well, then they'll have their 10,000 players who play for the next 3 years, and then the game goes away. But it could be like the finals, where it has a resurgence because the finals was constantly trying to rebalance and bring people back. To be fair, I haven't come back to the finals because I said, no, thank you, when I just got rinsed over and over and over because I didn't know, there's one specific gun that I needed to use or whatever. I didn't like that. There's a lot, this is going to sound ridiculous, but we should give a lot of credit to games like Call of Duty and Battlefield. And the reason I say that is because they know how to bring in casual players and keep them. That's very hard to do. There's a lot of really fun magic they put in to the way the aim assist will work and the way the bullets will spread. And like, there's lots of really crazy things that those games do that a lot of free-to-play games don't necessarily know how to do. And Highguard, if they are able to utilize what Apex Legends did when it first launched, I do think that they will bring back players. I just don't know if it's right now. I want to stay as far away from this game as I possibly can, because the skill ceiling on this thing, the only person you want to watch on this is Shroud. That's it. You want to watch Shroud, just absolute laser beam folks over and over and over, and I don't want to be on the other side of that gun.
Yeah, I agree. My takeaway, my feeling is that this will be a very fun game to watch, but I'm not sure I want to play it much. I think the rule set does allow for these like Hail Mary, high tension, high momentum shift kind of plays. Even running the shield breaker across the map, it kind of feels like you're playing football. You're going for the end zone. There's a lot of fun in that, and the game does a really good job of laying out what those objectives are and kind of guiding you through the phases and making it clear where you're at and what you need to do. For the most part, it does take some adjustment, like a lot of things in this game. Yeah, I agree, Bruce. I agree. Maybe, yeah, I think it's just got to weather the storm. I think a lot of the casuals are going to flake off, but I do think by virtue of its unique gameplay format, it's actually unique rule structure, I think it will appeal to the people who are maybe a little burned out winning all the battle royales all the time. Now they'll come over and win this for a while. So I'm curious to see what the game looks like from their perspective.
I do really want to say a lot of positive things about Highguard. Number one, it's an indie studio. There is no large publisher. This is something that gamers are constantly clamoring for. An indie studio that has a small dev team, and they've made an original IP. Like, it's literally everything that gamers want all the time. So it's really weird that everybody's shitting on them. I can't figure out why. Plus, it's free to play. So there's that. And also, yes, you could say that the designs are uninspired. I don't care either way. That never bothered me. But the game itself is a completely different form of video game. It's not an extraction shooter. It's not a battle royale. It's all sorts of different things all put together. And I see a bunch of people shitting on that too. And I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. They really have created a new genre of video game here. And they called it like a 3v3 base raiding game or a raid game. And it's not an extraction shooter. That is not what this is. And so I will give them credit for that too.
Yeah, it's people say that tossing a bunch of different ideas into a pot and making a game out of it is as though that's a trivial thing. It is really difficult to come up with a gameplay format, like a series of rules for a looping gameplay structure that does create interesting moments. I did see some disagreement in Steam reviews about that, saying it was boring or too slow paced or whatever. But I don't know. I thought it was a really good mix. I thought the matches moved real fast. So I celebrate that, and I will celebrate it from afar.
Another thing I do want to side with a lot of the Steam reviews. I know Lauren said 3v3 was fine. I actually do think that more players would make it more fun. I might feel like I'm not nearly as useless if there were 5 or 6 people. And then if I die, who cares? There's 5 other people. That's kind of the way I like the larger team aspects of games like that. Because then if I die, I can be like, well, you know what? Maybe there's 2 or 3 other people that'll do better than me. And the maps do feel pretty large for 3v3. So I do kind of agree with the Steam reviews there for the 5v5 versus 3v3.
I could see that. I think the maps are meant to be large so that you don't accidentally run into teams when you're not meant to. And then once the shield breaker spawns, you have a big icon telling you where it is, which is going to drag everyone to you. So I don't know, going from end to end on the map didn't take a crazy amount of time. But yeah, I can see it. I think it's like when you're playing the game, that's the first thing that sticks out, is why am I not shooting everything right now? Because there's no creeps or anything like that. So I get it, but I also kind of see the design part of it, and I don't want that to go away, because otherwise it's just gonna be a nightmare. The longer I could stay alive, the better.
Thank you very much for watching Inside Games today. You empower our bravery to stick up for Highguard just a little bit.
So brave. So brave. We'd like to offer an extra Highguardy thank you to the folks that support us directly via Patreon. We really appreciate that. Redden 003, Keita White, Rooster, Caleb Clark, and Namehogger. We are out here playing all the new free-to-play games so that you don't have to. So thank you very much. And hey, please check out our Patreon if you feel like it. All of our content is posted there for free. So if you enjoy our coverage, you can find it all listed there. And each post contains a hand-selected artisanal meme from my big meme sack. I have a pictures folder on my computer that I've just been chucking memes into for about 25 years now. So it's a vintage selection. So please enjoy, and thank you very much for watching Inside Games. We'll see you next time.